Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. Surprise, surprise. But we've got, this is a trending topics edition of all things Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we got to talk about a couple of things. So first and foremost, there was a celebration party because Phaedra Parks had a cover magazine party, a celebration, if you will, for a cover shoot called For View magazine. So Portia was there and Kelly was there. Now, thus far, Kelly has reposted all things pertaining to Phaedra, but however has not reposted yet any of the tags that Portia had regarding her and Kelly that also was there. And I find this interesting because Kelly has been throwing all this shade at Portia and Shamia's friendship. And it's almost to the point, y'all. It is almost to the point that I feel like these housewives just want the friendship to fail at this point, because everything that we have seen up until this point on the show, even when Portia is throwing shade at Shamia is still behind the scenes. Like, her and Portia are still together, like when it's all said and done, whenever the scene wraps or the whatever, they're still hanging out. So I'm confused. I don't know if it's contrived for the show, for a storyline or whatever, but it's just odd. So Portia says the following. She says, "Frack looks like $1 million in the mirror with singing emoji. Yes, Phaedra Parks killed her cover shoot for View magazine. Kelly and I had a ball celebrating you and your success. Thank you, View Atlanta, and congratulations. And hashtag sister success, hashtag soft girls work hard, hashtag frick and frack." And then, you guys, now Britt is on a press tour. Britt is on a press tour, y'all. Bravo has planned this all out. They said, listen, looky here. You are not allowed to do any media. No. Until that episode airs. Until that episode airs, we need you in hiding. We need you in seclusion. We need you in witness protection until the episode airs. And then we are going to roll you out. We are going to roll you out, and you are going to do your big PR campaign, right? So Britt has been on these interviews, and I believe Britt is going to be on Watch What Happens Live this Sunday. Make it make sense. How come Drew Sidora has not been on Watch What Happens Live? Unless I am drawing a blank, I do not recall her being on Watch What Happens Live yet this season. And she's had the new album. She's like, what? What? No. I know you lying. But she is not, to my recollection, has not been on yet on Watch What Happens Live. Everybody else has, though. Well, except for Kenya. But everybody else has been on there. And now Britt gets to do her big rollout. So Britt basically is coming off very sympathetic, whether you believe her or not. Whether you believe Britt or not, she is coming off sympathetic. And honestly, this started from the show. Her Sorry 2024 tour on the show, that was, whether she worked it out with the production, whether she worked it out with Portia or whatever, she worked it out and did the apology tour, showed up to Kenya's event with the flowers, with the 4-page letter, shout out to Aaliyah, and all the things. And Kenya didn't want to hear it. Kenya didn't want to feature it. And allegedly, according to Portia, Portia told Kenya about the sit down that her and Britt had and how Britt was remorseful and apologetic and all these things, and Kenya was like, whatever, I'm still gonna be doing my own revenge when it's all said and done. So, like I said, they kept Britt in holding. They kept Britt in witness protection until now. So now she is doing the interviews. Now she's doing the press run. And so when one of the interviews, y'all, she is basically coming off like, she can't believe still to this day what has happened. That, she was humiliated, that Kenya went too far, that Kenya has not contacted her since the incident, and I believe she said that Kenya blocked her, and Kenya's not apologized to her, and Britt said that Kenya needs to humble herself, and that Kenya is running around here listening to the fans. Kenya is running around here pretending to be the victim in all this, when Britt said she's the victim. She said she would never threaten to KILL or unalive anybody. She said that her comment was in poor taste. She shouldn't have said it, and all of the things. And she wishes, she's disappointed in some of the housewives on the cast this season who quickly flippity flopped, and our team Kenya are actively trying to advocate for Kenya to come back on the show, and all of the things, y'all. She said she is disappointed. She said you will see later in the season why her and Kelly's friendship took a nosedive. It took a turn for the worse, and all of the things. But they asked, would there be a situation, would you film with Kenya? And Britt said she's not filming with Kenya at this juncture, y'all, and that Kenya would need to put in some work with Britt, would need to apologize, would need to humble herself, would need to be sympathetic and be remorseful for what she did, because she said that everything that she's been hearing on Kenya's side, it doesn't sound like Kenya regrets what she did. It doesn't sound like Kenya feels bad about what she did, that she simply only feels bad that it costed her peach and all of the things, y'all. And so then, y'all, we hear from Nene Leakes. We hear from Nene Leakes because Nene Leakes has been on several interviews where she has said in regards to Kenya Moore that Kenya Moore, she feels, Kenya has, declassed the show. Kenya has taken the show in the wrong direction. She rubs black women the wrong way, certain black women the wrong way. She goes too far in some of her antics and some of her shenanigans, and that is not what Real Housewives of Atlanta is about. So, Nene reposted a clip, y'all. She reposted a clip on the Instagrammies, and it was a clip where Kenya basically was saying the message is very clear. And this was back when Bravo was kind of phasing Nene out of season 12 and out of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and ultimately off Real Housewives of Atlanta ever since. And Kenya is allegedly saying the message is very clear. She's throwing all these shots, she's throwing all these daggers and all of these things. And so Nene reposts the clip, y'all, on the Instagram, on the Instagrammies, and everybody was making a big deal, like, oh, Nene and Kenya are finally following each other. They just saw each other at the airport and da-da-da-da. No. No! That doesn't mean that they're besties. Is that your bestie? That doesn't mean that they're besties. No. Nene has been calling Kenya out. Nene has been dragging Kenya. But really, I mean, real talk, Nene's been calling out all these girls. Nene has been dragging all these girls when it is all said and done. But the thing with this is, the thing for me, the thing is, I'm really not going to come for Nene in this, because I feel like Kenya has thrown plenty of shade at Nene as far as everything falling apart with Bravo and Nene not being on, Real Housewives of Atlanta since then, and everything else. So I feel like it's fair game. And then if you believe the tea leaves, if you believe the alleged rumors, Nene probably feels that Kenya and potentially, allegedly, some other people were responsible for ultimately, building their alliance to help make sure that Nene did not come back on the show and did not advocate for her to stay on the show either. So Nene feels this is a big kickback. Now, I want to say we don't officially know if Kenya Moore is done for good at Bravo or done for good with NBC Universal. All we really know is Kenya Moore is done for the season per Bravo's black and white image where they said Kenya's done for the season. That is really all that we have that is actual and factual. We do not know if Kenya will be back for season 17. We will not know whether or not Kenya is ever going to make that appearance on Watch What Happens Live, because I feel like they started the sympathy tour and Bravo pushing the narrative. They went out there with having Cynthia do her press run last week, and now they're having Britt do her press run this week. So, it is going to be very interesting to see where we go from here, but obviously calling out Andy Cohen's podcast is not on the right road. It's on the wrong road. So nonetheless, we'll have to see what happens with that, because Andy does not like it when you drag him or call him out or allude to anything or whatever. So none of the less, we will have to keep posted on that. So what do y'all think in the comments? What do you think of Portia, Kelly, and Phaedra all getting together the other night to celebrate Phaedra's cover, magazine as well? And then what do you think of, Britt's comments about Kenya needs to humble herself and all of the things? What do y'all think of Nene Leakes throwing shade, throwing shots, reposting the clip where Kenya is saying the message is very clear about how Bravo and everybody else feels about Nene Leakes and that they are doing their due diligence? Well, is Bravo still doing the same due diligence as it pertains to Kenya now that Kenya is on the receiving end? So just a lot to unpack there, you guys. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.